Why do people think the iPhone 13 is important? I mean, you're seeing videos left, right, and center here on YouTube, so it must be important. Like, that's got to be it. That's the only reason you're going to see all these videos on YouTube about the iPhone 13. It isn't even going to be out for a couple months. And the reason I'm making a video about it right now, like, it's got to be important, right? Or is it? Or, I mean, it's got to be, right? Because all these videos, like I said, but it can't be because it's just an iPhone. Man, there's some things we got to unpack here. Don't worry, I'll do it. Right after this.
This is, you listening to Travis.
What up, players? Welcome back. And for all you new people, welcome. My name's Travis and I do tech videos every single week and have a blast doing them. If that sounds like fun to you, sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Anything I talk about will be in the description below. But for now, let's just get into the video. So the iPhone 13 is allegedly going to come out this year. Some people have called it the iPhone 12s, the 13. It kind of doesn't matter because there's an interesting phenomenon with Apple products that, well, make it seem more important than even I think they are. Now, I recently did a video about the Apple ecosystem and kind of some of the problems with it. I'll leave a link in the description and in the end screen. And make sure you hit the subscribe button because I've actually been reviewing a couple of Apple products lately, including my very first MacBook, the very first one I've ever gotten. I did a couple videos on that. You might enjoy that. Again, put links everywhere, but hit the subscribe button. We're almost at a really important subscriber goal that I'm trying to hit. But why do we care so much about the iPhone 13? I mean, it's probably going to be incrementally better than the iPhone 12 or 12 Pro, much like the iPhone 11 Pro Max and the iPhone 12 Pro Max and the iPhone 11 and 12s. There's only a couple differences here and there. You could argue there were more differences between the 11 and 12 than there will be between the 12 and 13 because at least on the base models of the phones, you had an OLED display and some other cool camera things. But for the most part, they're basically the same phone. And if you're not an Apple lover, or if you don't care for iPhones, you're really perplexed. Why do people care? Now, let's be clear. It's unlikely they will show anything on this phone that we A, don't already know about because there's tons of leaks, and B, don't already exist on Android in some form or fashion. As a matter of fact, Android, generally speaking, has a lot of the features way before Apple ever implements them on their phones. Case in point, this year, allegedly, 120 hertz. This has not only been out on Android phones for a while, they're actually up to like 144 hertz now. Like, it's something crazy, like ridiculously fast refresh rates on these phones. So much so you probably can't even tell the difference anymore. But it'll be new to Apple fans and Apple users and iPhone users. So that'll be kind of cool, at least for some of those people, if you can explain to them even what the difference is. For the hardcores watching YouTube, of course they're going to understand, but to your average consumer, the person who just buys an iPhone because they work, they're not going to know what the heck 120 hertz is. As it stands, the iOS is really smooth. It always seems faster than 60 hertz to me anyway. So I've never really had a problem. If you tell someone it's going to be smoother, they're just going to take you at their word because, you know, Apple's pretty good at that. It's like Jedi mind tricks, left, right, and center with them. It's like, you have never heard of wireless charging before, and now we have it 5 years later. But luckily for Apple, at least in the overall scheme of things, it doesn't appear that Samsung is going to have anything to rival it in the second half of the year. This is like the first time ever, or certainly in a very long time, Samsung has recently said that the Galaxy Note may not come out this year. Now, there's even been rumors that it may never come out, but I'm still not for that. I don't think that's going to happen. But if the rumors are true and the Galaxy Note is not coming out this year, then essentially Samsung has already had their flagship for the year. They've had their day in the sun, and the rest of the year can be owned to Apple. Now, this is the first time, like I said, I think ever, that Samsung is basically giving up a portion of the year completely to Apple. That's actually a big deal because what typically happens is the interest of the YouTube and kind of smartphone community goes between Apple and Samsung. Of course, there are other phones that have come out and some pretty cool ones. Xiaomi's got a couple of ones that are pretty amazing if you haven't already seen them. But typically what happens is it goes Samsung and then Apple and then Samsung with the Galaxy Note and then Apple again. So we'll get like iPads and MacBooks and phones, and it kind of goes back and forth. But inevitably, the end of the year usually is Apple's. But right before that, has always been Samsung's with the Galaxy Note. But this year, if there is no Galaxy Note, then the entire rest of this year is Apple land. Can you imagine all the coverage that they're going to get? And trust me when I tell you, Samsung does not want that. Now, whether they do some type of price cut on the S21 series going forward, by the way, I've done videos about this. They always price cut. They've already done it, but a more kind of substantial price cut right before the iPhone 13 series of phones come out. I mean, I don't know. That's we'll have to wait to find out and see if that's the case. If you think so, leave a comment below. Is that the kind of strategy Samsung should use in case the iPhone 13 comes out with no Galaxy Note to fight against it? So of course people are going to care about one of the only flagships left this year to come out, which is the iPhone 13. But there's a couple of other things to keep in mind as to why people really care about the iPhone 13, at least for right now. When Apple does something, it makes it relevant. The 120 hertz display is going to make it relevant. Now, that doesn't mean they were first. Obviously they weren't. It won't even mean that they'll do it best. Doesn't mean any of that at all. But when Apple does something, it makes it relevant and okay for the other manufacturers to do the same. And a lot of Android people get uptight when I say stuff like that, but it's true. Look at the past. iPhone 7 got rid of the headphone jack. All the Android lovers were laughing at the iPhone until all of their headphone jacks fell right the hell on off. Same thing this past year with the power adapter not even being in the iPhone 12. Again, Samsung Knights in the comment section laughing until later that same year and into this year, their phones didn't come with power adapters either. When Apple does something, it signals to other Android manufacturers it's okay to do it. You can even look back to the notch thing. I call it Notchgate, where all of those Android phones came out with notches. The only reason any of the iPhones have a notch is because the technology that lives inside of that notch is necessary for that phone to work for Face ID. Android phones just did it for like, look, which by the way, it's ugly. YouTubers are doing a lot of content around Apple products and the iPhone especially. Again, without another Samsung flagship, it's going to be kind of hard to talk a lot about Samsung for the rest of the year. And Apple's constantly putting out new products during the course of the year. And by the way, there's a very big reason why we do content about Apple, and me specifically. While yes, now I do own a bunch of Apple products, I still have Android phones and I still enjoy Android phones. But one of the reasons I do a lot more Apple content is there's just more interest in it on YouTube. You don't believe me? I gotta show you receipts again. Every time I show you receipts, you just don't like it. Case in point, the Unpacked event that just happened for Samsung, where they announced the Samsung Galaxy S21 and S21 Ultra, had 34 million views on YouTube. Now you can say they showed it other places. I'm doing apples to apples, pardon the pun, apples to apples comparison here. Sure, it was shown other places, so was the Apple event. But let's just take that. 34 million views. That's a lot of views. That's a lot of people with an interest in a phone. Probably not all those people bought it, but a lot of them watched it. A lot of interest. Well, until you compare it to Apple. The iPhone 12 event, the release video they did, the live stream they did, had 56 million. This is not the first time this has happened. Apple typically dwarfs Samsung in the amount of views on their live stream for their announcement for their phones every single year. If you don't believe me, just come on YouTube and take a look. It's there, it's true. Does that mean it's better? No, it just means there's more interest. Thus, as a YouTuber, someone like me who gets paid for doing these videos, it makes more sense to put videos in front of people that want to watch them. And there's just a lot of interest in Apple. Look, I just put out 3 videos about the MacBook that I just got, and all of them did really well in views. If I bought a Samsung laptop, I guarantee you a third of you wouldn't have shown up to watch those videos. It's just the way it is, man. It's just the way it is. And not only tech YouTubers and people like you, the general industry is interested in Apple all the time. They just posted $111 billion, up 21% over the last year in the same quarter. In a pandemic. Bro, what? So a lot of people care about the iPhone 13 because a lot of people care about Apple and the iPhone. In addition to that, listen, we're probably kind of bored. Like, technology is not that great right now. It's pretty boring. These phones look, generally speaking, the same. The 13 is going to look kind of like this, probably just a different color. It's going to do most of the same things. But we got to get excited about something, right? So should you buy an iPhone 12 Pro Max now, or iPhone 12 Pro, or iPhone 12 now, or wait for the 13? I'll be perfectly honest, if you can catch a great deal on an iPhone 11 or 11 Pro, 11 Pro Max, to me, that's the better deal financially. It just makes more sense. The 13's great. I'm sure it'll be amazing. It'll be fantastic, and it'll be expensive. And you know what? It's not even going to be that interesting. We already know. It's not going to be that interesting. I don't think. And of course, yes, Samsung will have some foldy phones this year. That will be cool and exciting. And of course, come and hit that subscribe button. I'll be talking about those as well. That actually will be interesting, but you can't expect that to go against an iPhone. They're just not the same thing. They're not. But as always, leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. Why do people care about the iPhone so much? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. Also, I have some other videos you can watch around here. Make sure you check them out. Thank you for coming through. I'll see you next time. Peace and love.